Up with that, our businessman, our in-studio businessman, Devan Murugan, bringing us the latest, the reactions to some big things that have happened in the past 24 hours, Devan. The first being this announcement on land expropriation without compensation, the ANC's resolution. The Rand not liking that too much, though.
No, not at all. 16 cents of a dive for the Rand against the dollar the moment President Cyril Ramaphosa announced the intent to change the constitution to allow for this expropriation. So if you can remember, over the past few days, we were just celebrating the fact that the Rand has been on a winning streak against the dollar, approaching 13 Rand to the US dollar. But look at that now, sitting at 13.35 as a result of that 16 to 18 cent loss when that announcement was made overnight. And Yuveka, it points to the fact that it's a tough balancing act for the government to redress the economy, to address the imbalances in the economy by intervening in the land issue, but at the same time pleasing investors to come forward to this economy. It's not an easy one to do. And you were speaking about taxi fares just a moment ago. Part of the reason why that's going up is because petrol's going up, and the reason why the petrol's going up is because the Rand's weakening against the dollar. So risks for interest rates, risks for petrol price increases when that Rand weakens against the dollar.
13.35, that's the number you showed us against the greenback. And last week when BRICS Summit started, after the Chinese announcement, it was sitting pretty at 10 cents better at 13.25. I remember that number very well. Not good at all. But there was more bad news. I mean, unemployment figures, that also did not have a good impact, I guess.
Yes, I heard this discussion that you were having earlier on in the show. 105,000 jobs lost between April and June in the manufacturing sector alone. Now, Dan, you'll remember that industrializing this economy is part of government's drive here. That's why they're holding these job summits. That's why we have numerous conferences on how to reindustrialize the economy. But look at that, 27.2%, largely as a result of jobs lost in the manufacturing sector and other sectors. That translates to 6.1 million people out of work in that period. But that's just the official unemployment rate. That number goes up to about 9.2 million people when you consider the expanded definition of unemployment, which includes discouraged workers. So as we drive to improve the economy, as we drive to redress the economy, we've got to deal with this big elephant in the room. So many people are out of work.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering again, before you go, just an overall comment. We have this job summit we've spoken about that's supposed to be coming up in November. One wonders if this should not be treated as an emergency kind of thing. We had Duma Kubule earlier, an economist, who was saying the government has to move with speed and treat this as a national emergency.
Yeah. I think many people would use the word emergency to describe this issue. At this job summit, the question is, who are the role players? We know that business, labor, as stakeholders will be addressing here, but it's about sacrifices. You know, government needs to get what business offers, but it needs to be conducive to creating jobs. Again, business needs to be conducive. Business wants an environment that's conducive to create those jobs. So a lot of sacrifices at this job summit. We look forward to seeing how it unfolds.
And so little time to do all of this in, I suppose. We're almost, what, 5 months to the end of the year. That's where we are. Okay, thanks very much, Devan Murugan.